Hello, welcome. It's Francis here. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I bid thee welcome. There is a subscribe and a bell below if you want to help support this channel by subscribing and also be notified as to when I upload more content. I'm coming to you from Ghana country. As such, I acknowledge the Ghana people of the Adelaide Plains as being the traditional custodians of this land. So I've just done a video in relation to the new moon, which will be on the 20th, maybe the 21st of April. It will be in the astrological sign of Aries at 29 degrees. It's the same sign as the previous new moon, which is a little bit interesting, unusual, and it will also be coinciding with a solar eclipse. Now, in that video, I'll link it below because I don't know how to link it up here. I did mention that there are other planets that will be triggered, and I'll do a separate video in relation to these other planets because otherwise it gets a little bit too confusing for people who just want to know about the eclipse. I also strongly recommend you check out the astrologers I've listed below because it's from their broadcast that I have compiled this, because I'm not an astrologer myself. I just follow a small group of astrologers because there's so many different interpretations out there, and the ones that I really resonate I sort of compile and put into my own notes and share with you. So check out the new moon solar eclipse video if you're interested. Check out the resources and the original astrologers reports. And this video, I want to focus on Pluto in Aquarius, its impact upon the solar eclipse, new moon, and also on Chiron, because these are two important points said. So Pluto moved into Aquarius. It's actually at 0 degrees of Aquarius, right at the beginning of Aquarius, on the 23rd of March last month. And it's actually been marked by astrologers as being the most powerful sort of transit in decades, and impacting upon the solar eclipse that's coming up is actually going to make it the second most powerful eclipse of the decade. Okay, so as such, Pluto is going to make the solar eclipse this new moon feel very initiatory, because it's all about clearing out old karma. And then we've also got to consider Chiron's placement. Chiron is the wounded healer. Do I have Chiron's placement written down? I thought I had, maybe I don't. Chiron is in Aries at the moment. Sorry, maybe I didn't have Chiron's degrees written down. I thought I had. But it's right by the sun, so it is triggering things off because the sun sort of illuminates things. Chiron is about the deepest wounds that we carry, which seem to be coming up. You may have noticed this in your life. Things that we may have thought we have dealt with, maybe we haven't dealt with them deep enough. And this is what's happening. We need to get to the root cause of these root wounds, and this is more important because the time has finally come to let things go or let things die. So when an eclipse actually involves Pluto, and I might have mentioned this in the previous video, it almost instigates a collective element to it as well. So there could be world changes and thoughts and paradigm shifts. How we relate to each other, how we relate to the planet, happening all around us. I think we're beginning to see this. And when Pluto makes a square with anything, this means that there's no going back because it's burning the bridges, so to speak. So we can only head forward. And because it's in Aquarius, it's off and taking great leaps and bounds. And as such, it's bringing down energies to our earthly plane probably a little bit faster than what we may be able to relate to, that we can comprehend, that we can integrate. It can be feeling intense. We may not understand exactly what's going on, but we have this pull to be rebellious, to do things our own way, be very independent, become our own force, so to speak. Yet when Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn in June, the energies slow down again, and this enables us to reiterate or sort of integrate, understand a little bit more about these energies that we have been taking off on. We also are able to understand the insights that we may have received in relation to our own soul purpose, our sense of self, the direction that we are supposed to be heading into, as opposed to the direction that maybe we are heading into, because this is the direction that we have been told or encouraged to head into. And again, things you might feel pulled in a certain direction and not quite consciously aware of it straight away because it hasn't filtered down into our collective, our conscious understanding. But subconsciously, we are well aware of it. We know what's going on. So, Chiron is squaring Pluto, and then we've got Aries, the Sun, and the Moon, all to say in communication with each other. I don't know, they're all bouncing off each other. So it's Aries, as I've mentioned in the previous video, is all about our sense of self. So it's almost like our whole sense of self, our identity has been ripped open, has been exposed. This isn't necessarily a bad thing or a negative thing, because it enables us to get a deeper understanding about who we truly are, without all the illusions, without all the pre-programming or expectations of somebody else's agendas in our lives. We really understand, beginning to understand us, what's important to us on a deeper soul level. However, it could be a little bit like ripping the lid off Pandora's box, and we know what happened there. Everything but hope escaped from the box. So if you're interested in doing deeper soul diving, this is probably a good time to utilize that, to get a grasp of what is actually preventing you from becoming the person that you feel soul driven to be, what your soul is trying to make you become, looking at what's holding you back. Is it something within you, or is it expectations from other people? It's also going to activate on only our own emotional responses, in particular the more negative ones like frustration and anger, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is currently 5 degrees of Cancer, and it's not happy in these water signs. Cancer is family orientated, but it's also, because being a water sign, it's emotional. It's sort of being the first water sign of the zodiac, it's about the underbelly. So it's about what is residing within you that you haven't actually felt recently. Deep heart issues, connecting to your inner child. Again, this is the wounded stuff coming up with Chiron, all that subconscious stuff. It could be family driven, because Cancer is about family, about relationships within family, our dynamics, mother, father, parent, child, siblings. It can also relate to what you call home and the safetiness around there. And when Mars transits through Cancer, this can actually trigger where we have not felt safe, where we have not felt loved, where we have not felt seen. Said all these deeper issues that we may have experienced as a child, yet tend to play out throughout our lives as an adult. And it's being heightened because oh, excuse me. It's heightened because it's being squaring Chiron. So I'm just going to have to take some water. And Chiron is in Aries. It's triggering the wounds relating to ourself. Oh, something's happening there. Okay. So it's time to acknowledge it's better. Acknowledge the areas in your life where you have not felt supported, where you have not felt loved, or where you've ended up having to go through things alone. Let's make you okay. That's better. So, all these deeper issues are being triggered by Chiron squaring Pluto at this full moon. What else? So it's really deep stuff that is going to be shifting in this. And as I said earlier, we probably have thought that maybe we've dealt with them before. But it's all about self-identity, foundational stuff, security. So, this is why I've said in the previous video, it's not a new moon for manifesting. It's a new moon to looking at our foundations and dealing with those deeper soul wounds, and then we can move forward. So I hope that, and my coughing hasn't put you off. Again, look at your chart. If you've got your birth chart, your natal chart. Focus on some breath work, breathing, even if it's just a 4-fold breath. Breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4. Holding for another count of 4 before you inhale again. I do meditation and mantras. I find that helps get out of this head. If that's not your thing, if you can go for a walk, get out to nature, do things that make you feel grounded, that make you feel safe. Do some self-care. And a lot of the self-care, remember that Taurus aspect that I talked about in the previous video, this embodiment, bringing feelings back to your body, listening to your body, not the head, not the doubting Thomas that's up here. Listen to the heart. And we'll see you on the other side. Blessings.